So I decided to call it Food Bar FM because that's what this is. The whole place has been blown to hell. My street, or what's left of it, looks like a scene from the last days of Berlin, but a modern-day American-style version with some crackheads stumbling around in the rubble. What a view, guys. What a view. 3 weeks ago, I was sitting on my front lawn, enjoying an iced tea and a few afternoon tokes on the Devil's Lettuce. A pretty average day. And a military convoy rolls past, and I'm like, yo, what is going on, man? And well, that was the start of it. 3 weeks later, their street is blown to shit. And everyone apart from me and the crackheads are gone. They are either dead or they've left. But by some miracle, my house is still standing, apart from some broken windows and minor exterior damage.
So who needs state-sponsored bullshit media when you have me? Those elitist pawns and pampered TV puppets will just repeatedly spin their bullshit web of concocted horse tripe and shove it your face until some of the bullshit sticks to your temporal lobes and later becomes a bullshit media spawned opinion, which you think you thought of yourself when in fact you're just reading from the book of bullshit and your words and thoughts are just a continuous flow of brain sewerage formed by a massive elitist diarrhea-style dump on your subconscious. Anyway, instead you've got me in my reassuring, comforting voice alongside the soothing backdrop of war, rioting, starvation, every imaginable avenue of death.
Militias are morons. They are fighting a losing battle. There is no way in a million years they can win this fight. Put your goddamn guns down and go back to playing Call of Duty or whatever it was you did before you decided to become even more of a loser than you already were. Or here's a better idea. Instead of aiming your guns at the men and women putting their lives on the line to save this country, and thank you for your service, turn that gun around, aim it at your goddamn forehead, and pull the trigger.
I am a man of peace, love to all. And yeah, watching those hills above my beloved city burning brings a tear to my eye, or it would if I wasn't so baked. Peace and love is the only answer, peace and love. 250,000 Americans who this time 1 month ago were going about their lives with dreams, ambitions, hopes, a future. They are now gone, they are dead. 250,000, and our enemies around the world, and let's face it, we have quite a lot because we've pissed off a bunch of countries over the last number of decades with our modern day pillaging and stealing their resources under the guise of defending our country or liberating another. And our enemies, they are rubbing their hands together with a big grin on their faces while we destroy ourselves from the inside, while they grow economically, technologically, and their competition, that being us, the great almighty United States of America, slowly kills itself off so they don't have to do it for us. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that something had to be done about the weasels in power, but there's other ways to go about it. But like, what do these militias actually want? They can't even agree on that. So if the military, the government, whatever, admit defeat, what happens then? Who is the power given to? It's just going to end up leading to another war among the militias on who gets into power, because they all have conflicting ideologies, opinions, beliefs, plans, and whatever, and the only thing they can agree on is they want change. But what kind of change? Anyway, I just want this shit to stop. Like I said, love and peace, man. And also, I'm running low on weed. I don't know where my dealer is. I went to his house 2 days ago to get some stuff, which he told me not to do, but I couldn't get in touch with him by phone. So yeah, I went to his house, or I should say what used to be his house. It was just blown up piece of timber and rubble, the walls completely down around it, and a crackhead just sitting on my dealer's sofa in the middle of what used to be the sitting room, which was weirdly enough relatively intact considering the exterior damage. Yeah, just a crackhead sitting there looking like nothing was up, like he was just watching an episode of Saturday Night Live, except he was just looking at me, and I was just looking at him like, yo, what's up, dude? So I don't know if he was in there when the place got hit, my dealer, I mean, not the crackhead. If the crackhead was in there when it got hit and came out looking like that, like completely unscathed, that dude is smoking some superhuman enhancement shit in his crack pipe. For real. Okay, I might be getting a bit off topic there, But my point is, I just want things to go back to normal, like pizza on a Friday, smoking doobies every night, smoking doobies, couple beers, just chill, man. But this shit has totally, like, altered my routine, and I just want normality now, for real. Too many people have died, and there is no positive outcome to this scenario, man. Come on, look at Phoenix, half of that city is dead, man, come on. When I was born in 1997, this is not what I signed up for. This is some 18th century bullshit, or 19th century whatever, but it should not be happening, I thought we were more civilized than this. Now, I know
500,000 people is the latest estimate. That shit is scary. Like, I mean, how many more will it get to 1 million, 2 million? Like, I was working it out. And the population of the United States is around 345 million. So that's like 1 in 690 people have been killed in this war so far. Now you might say, wait, that doesn't sound too high. But regardless if it's 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000, or 1 in 1 million, they are all lives. And 500,000 of them have been taken away. Seriously, when is enough? Enough. I am sick to death of this shit. What the hell has happened to my goddamn country? Just stop killing each other. I mean, of course there are women taking part in the fighting. Of course there is. I'm not saying there's not, but the majority are 99% men. I mean, isn't that just typical? Men are to blame for this shit. That big macho, I've got the biggest set of balls mentality. It's costing thousands of Americans their lives. Well, guess what? We don't care how big your balls are. Get your goddamn balls out of our faces and stop waving them around like a giant sack of patriotic meat marbles. Enough of the balls. We want peace. We want peace. Men are too goddamn proud to put their egos to one side and stop killing each other. So I am asking you, just stop it now.
I'm telling you, this is going to get a lot worse. We've only seen the tip of the iceberg, and, after the president's assassination, a lot of people thought, okay, here it is, the beginning of the end. Well, how wrong were they? It's been just over a week since the president's murder, and since then about 300,000 people have been killed. Remember, in the first 3 weeks of fighting, there were between 180 and 200,000 killed. In 3 weeks, now it's 300,000 in just over a week, and 500,000, 500,000 in total dead since the start of the war. See, they're insane figures. This is not a two-way war anymore with just the military and the militias. The military has been split down the middle, and the two sides are now fighting against each other, while both are simultaneously fighting the militias who are also fighting amongst themselves. It is a mayhem. There are 10, 20, 30, who knows, maybe even 50 different factions fighting at the one time. Entire cities have literally been wiped off the map. Phoenix is gone, Oklahoma is gone, cities all across the country in flames, our very own city being bombarded, the hills on fire as everybody and anybody with a gun joins in on the fight. And I see the same situations being repeated all over the country. That is what is driving the number of casualties and deaths. So many guns and so many people willing to use them who have absolutely no idea what they're even fighting for. Rioting also contributing to a huge number of deaths nationwide. Looting has basically came to a stop because, well, there's nothing left to loot. Starvation accounts for about 5,000 deaths. That is crazy, the United States of America. And we're talking about people starving to death like it's some third world country in the middle of Africa. That's why I am saying this is going to get much worse, because soon none of us will have food. Even I wish I could be more optimistic, but it's impossible. Supplies are not getting through, the airports are closed, the roads are closed, the shipping ports are closed. The country is in lockdown under orders from a non-functioning government. We don't even know who is giving the military orders to fight anymore. Communication has broken down amongst the public, the government, amongst family, friends, the military, the militias. Hospitals are not functioning. And if they are operating at 10, maybe 15%. It's crazy. And farms around the country are in flames, so no food is being produced, so our next biggest problem is going to be major nationwide famine on a scale we cannot imagine. Sound of war will no longer be a problem because people will no longer have the energy to fight, and if they do, the only thing they will be fighting over is the last remaining scraps of food in the neighborhood. See, what you think the situation is ugly now, you wait and see. Along with famine and starvation, disease is going to break out. Something mass migration is going to lead to people trying to spill over the borders into Mexico and Canada. And although the Canadians are trying to take in as many refugees as possible, the Mexican government is showing zero tolerance for any American refugees. The Mexican president last week said, "It is not Mexico's problem." What a douche. I mean, come on, man. Excusing to have been taking in your people for the last, 150 years? You know what, Mr. Mexican President, whatever your name is when America gets back on its feet, which is a long way off, but it will happen someday. I hope we go down there and kick your ass and just incorporate your whole country into a new state of America. How about that? Honestly, what a douchebag. Okay, I need to relax. Thankfully, I still have enough food for the time being, partly because I don't eat much, but also because I could see this shit coming from a mile off. I stocked up on tinned food years ago because my dad was saying it for years. Stock up, son, a war is coming. Thanks, Dad, it was a lot better advice than some of the advice you gave me, like, for example, to keep tabs on former girlfriend to make sure she wasn't cheating on me. Not good advice. Long story short, that led to a restraining order, although, yeah, I probably did go too far with the whole keeping tabs thing. Sleeping outside her house in the bushes on a cold December night was a bad idea, to say the least. Nevertheless, thanks, Dad. I miss you, and man, if you could see this now, you would be turning in your grave. But who knows, maybe you're looking down with Mom thinking, what a bunch of dumbasses down there. They just cannot figure their shit out. I would guess you're saying something like that. Anyway, I got a bit off topic there, but essentially, what is this, apart from a good old rant, pirate radio rant? And I like it. I should have got into radio before all this kicked off. I think I might have a knack for it. But anyway, as I was saying, it's going to get worse, a whole lot worse, and this war has led to, or I should probably say inspired, other revolutions around the world. Not on this scale like we have here, but nonetheless armed revolutions in countries that you would not expect, mainly because the citizens of those countries don't have access to firearms as easily as we do here, or did have here, until they, well, tried to take them all away from us. But anyway, yeah, big revolutions taking place in other countries around the world, where despite strict gun laws, they have managed to smuggle in weapons, like in France and Britain. The situation in both of the countries quickly spiraling out of control, as they too are setting up militia-style factions and are engaging in minor street battles with their own militaries. We say minor, but it has the potential of developing into full-scale war. There's no doubt about that. The same thing is happening in Ireland. The streets of Dublin are in flames as the potential for a full-scale war between the Irish military and nationalist militants looks like a very real possibility. Also, Slovakia, the Czech Republic, and Belgium are also witnessing quite a lot of violence. I was surprised to find that the Czech Republic has very high gun ownership in comparison to most European countries. Their laws seem pretty lax in that respect, so it's kicking off there too. Ukraine, well, you know the situation there. Not much needed to be said about that, but these revolutions, if you want to call them that, are kicking off around the world, but like I said, nowhere near the scale of what we're seeing. But some people were suggesting that this could lead to World War III, not like we imagined, like a kind of Russia against West situation or China against the United States, but World War III could take the form of global revolutions, conflicts, and major civil wars taking place simultaneously around the globe. So kind of worldwide revolution. The people against their governments, national militaries versus national militias from all over the world. I thought that was a really interesting opinion because you always imagine World War III being a bunch of countries firing nukes at each other, but maybe not. Maybe this is the beginning of it. Worldwide anarchy, revolution, civil war, you know, the people of the world trying to take down the powers that be. I guess we will see, but there...
I'm hungry. You know, I haven't eaten in 4 days, and the last thing I ate was half moldy piece of bread that I found at the back of a looted store downtown. And I was disgusted with myself, man. I was like, I couldn't believe the level that I had stooped to just eat there versus nibbling on a piece of nasty-ass moldy bread down a back alley like a big man rat. And I've been scurrying around since, so I'm thinking, oh man, I'd love to find a nice piece of moldy bread. That's how desperate I am. I actually have fond memories of eating that moldy bread, and my brain is like, yo man, you need to get yourself some more of that shit. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty low at the moment, and I smell like a dumpster, which is not surprising because I'm living in one. empty apartment that I was renting got blown to shit. Luckily, I wasn't in it at the time, although now I kind of wish I was. So, yeah, I am just so hungry, and I'm like trying to think of what Bear Grylls would do in a moment like this. But so far, nothing sprung to mind, although I did see a fly on a piece of dog shit yesterday and thought maybe I could catch that and eat it. But, yeah, I couldn't devise a plan to catch it. And the energy I would waste trying to catch the fly wouldn't be worth it for such a small meal. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do next. It's crazy out there. Every man for himself. I've got enough water for the time being. I collected some rainwater in some empty tuna cans that I found in the trash. So it's like fish-flavored water, bits of tuna floating in it, and the edges of the tin are sharp, so I accidentally cut my lip on it yesterday. First there was blood running down my chin, a lot of it, and just as I did it, I saw a girl that I knew from high school called Michelle Mahan. She was with her 2 kids. They had bags packed, looked like they were evacuating, and I was like, "Hey, Michelle," and she just like looked at me, hurried her kids along, and shouted, "Run, kids." Yeah, she didn't even recognize me, but then I thought, well, obviously she didn't. It's been a long time, and plus I'm standing in a dumpster looking like a human rodent with a can of tuna in my hand and blood dripping from my chin. So, if you're listening, which I'm sure you're not, I'm sorry for scaring you, Michelle, and your kids. I was just trying to, I don't know, just to have some sort of human interaction with someone because, you know, I'm lonely and what few friends I had are gone, packed their stuff 2 weeks ago and hightailed it out of here. So just having a bit of a back and forth with someone would be nice. I guess that's why I'm doing this now. It's just nice to talk, even if I'm only talking to myself, which is not unusual for me because I've always found that the best conversations I've had in the past have been conversations with myself. Anyway, I just don't know where to go from here. No food, no home, no money. I went to the bank 3 weeks ago to withdraw all my money and it was gone, blown up, burned to the ground. Before all this kicked off, I was working at a fast food joint that's gone too. It was looted in the early days of the war. The burgers were the first to go. Some of them weren't even eaten. They were just thrown around the place. I turned up for work on the Saturday of that week, and the place was thrashed. All the staff gone. Burger slowly sliding down the window, leaving a streak of ketchup like a wounded snail. What I would do for that burger now, and yet at the time I just ignored it. But I don't miss flipping burgers for a living or shoveling fries into a box, and I definitely don't miss seeing morbidly obese kids stuffing their chubby, fat faces with enough calories to feed a goddamn elephant for a week. I don't miss that. But at least with food shortages, the little fatties might shed a few pounds, so that's good. And maybe because of the war, it will put into perspective for people what's really important. Now it's been taken away. Yeah, it's harsh but true, but I think we needed that. I mean, before the war, I had problems like, damn, I don't know what type of pizza I should order tonight, or shit, I'm down to the last square of toilet paper, or holy shit, I've only got 7 minutes to make it to the liquor store before it closes. Because they were my problems before, but now it's like, shit, I hope no one moves into my dumpster while I'm away rummaging for food. Shit, I hope my legs don't get blown off during the night, or shit, I hope a rat doesn't crawl up my trouser leg in the middle of the night and start nibbling on my ball sack. Yeah, so those are some real problems. The war and the consequences of it have really put things into perspective for me. Like, I should have appreciated having a roof over my head, and I really like having legs. They're handy for getting around, and I like having a perfect this war will end when the...
We have nothing, absolutely nothing. No food, no water. We need help. If anyone can find it in their hearts to help us, please, please do. We're on Convent Street, and we're scared. All of our things are gone. Our house caught fire after a nearby airstrike. And apart from a few bits and pieces we were able to grab before the place went up in flames, we have nothing. Please help us. The government, as you know, they are not making airdrops like they are saying. They are not. We have got nothing, and the militias are partly to blame for that because they are firing at choppers and planes overhead, so they won't risk flying over in case they are shot down. But we are dying down here. Do you hear me? We are dying down here. There are corpses all over the street, some blown up, some starved to death. They are decomposing and they stink. And my kids have to witness this is what I have been paying my goddamn taxes for. Why is nobody helping us? Shame on everyone who has brought this misery, death, this hell on our country. Shame on you, shame.
This is what they want. This is the Great Reset. They want us to kill each other off through war, famine, disease, whatever means necessary. They want the population down like a lot. Then they will swoop in when they know it's safe and take it all back. They don't care if it's military dying, militia dying, or civilians dying. Just as long as it's not them dying, and of course they can't just nuke us all like some people are saying, like, hey, wait, if they want us all dead, then why don't they just nuke us all? Why? Because why would they want to live in a nuclear wasteland? Is it not obvious they're using us against ourselves? They're using us to kill each other off. It's friggin' genius, and now you're hearing about this spreading like revolutions kicking off in other places around the world. Well, duh, of course there is. That's what they want, and they knew that America would have the potential to kickstart that, like a global revolution. They knew it. They would have been like, wait, we don't need to kill them. We can trigger something to make them kill themselves. Genius. There is no winner between the military and the militias. Don't you get that? And the only winners will be the psychopathic, elitist pieces of shit that orchestrated this whole thing.
Now this is the time when they will attack us. The Chinese, the Russians, they are clinking glasses of champagne in celebration at what is happening here. This country was infiltrated a long time ago. This is a Chinese and Russian and possibly Iranian operation within the United States. I know that might sound crazy, but they planted the seeds of a dissent a long time ago. They are the ones that instigated the Civil War to tear us apart from the inside. They infiltrated government, all types of institutions, everyone you can imagine, the education system too. They made our society weak through leftist and liberal propaganda. For years and years and years, weakened us from the inside, caused division, caused tension, racial, religious divides, and this is the culmination of it. A civil war that has now claimed the lives of 500,000 people. Crazy, I know. They got their people working on the inside. The Russians, Chinese, Iranians, in conjunction with the Masons, Jesuits, American traders. This is the Great Reset. The New World Order they have been talking about, it is here, folks.
Relaxing on my ranch because there's not much else I can do at my age, but even if I was younger and healthier, I'm not sure I would be taking up arms to fight for any side. I was never a fighter in the military sense of the word, despite the fact that I served in Vietnam. I never wanted to kill for the thrill, so to speak, like many others did and many others do. I always thought that war was a chess game between the big boys, and we were just dispensable pieces on the board at the beck and call of the rich and powerful, and whatever the outcome, we, meaning the average person, would always lose out, and the rich, the powers that be, the elites, whatever you want to call them, will ultimately get what they want. I always strive for peace because I think in almost any situation where there are hostilities, a peace can be reached
through diplomacy, through negotiations, through compromise, through simply striving for peace. But I've come to realize that peace only matters when it suits the people who shattered it. And whatever side wins, human nature is flawed, and ultimately whoever gets into power will eventually screw it up, and their flawed nature, their selfishness, their greed, their deceit, the potential darkness of sin that is within us all overrides what goodness we have, if any. And in the end, evil prevails, and there will be no lasting peace until the Lord himself establishes his kingdom on the earth and rids it of the disease that condemns it. Do not look to man or country to bring you peace. Do not look to the world and the things that are in it to bring you peace. You will only be left disappointed. For if they do not know peace themselves, then how can they give it to you?
I don't know if you heard it too, but there's a couple of people saying that they heard that China and Russia were preparing to strike the United States. Apparently this is doing the rounds on different news outlets, whichever ones are still up and running. Yeah, it's probably rumor, but that's what some people have said they heard. That now that, we are weak and vulnerable as a nation, Russia and China are going to strike. I don't know in what capacity, like a nuclear strike maybe. I don't know. Or like maybe an invasion. It's probably bullshit. But just thought I'd throw it out there to see if anybody else had heard anything like that. But man, we have enough problems. Without the Russians and Chinese getting involved, there's already 500,000 of us dead since this shit kicked off.
So now apparently the Chinese and Russians are going to combine forces and hit us, kick us while we're down, basically. You know what? I don't care. I seriously don't care anymore. I'm done. This country, this world, went to shit a long time ago. So we've never been able to sort out our problems, and we never will. The human race, the sooner a goddamn asteroid hits us, the better. Too much suffering, too much pain, too much evil. I'm tired of it, and I'm tired of debating and hearing people's goddamn opinions about everything. Just shut up, just shut your stupid mouth, give it a rest. You're not as clever as you think you are. You're not as high and mighty as you think you are. You're not gonna fix shit, and your opinions will amount to shit, so just shut up. You're a tiny piece of dust in a vast, unimaginably massive universe, talking shit and thinking you're gonna fix things. You're not. Just shut up. Why am I even still talking, I think? I'm having a breakdown. Come on, China, Russia, whoever. Just put us out of our misery and then go and stick a massive nuke up your ass and detonate it. Thank you very much, and go fuck.
This has all been leading up to World War III. Russia and Ukraine, Iran and Israel, China and Taiwan, this civil war, this is what it has been leading to. And people are like, oh my God, China and Russia are going to attack us. Well, of course they are. Why wouldn't they? We are a threat to them. And at the moment we are weak, our defenses are down. And you think 500,000 Americans dead is a lot? Seriously? Wait until we're talking about 200 million Americans being dead. But by that stage, we won't be talking. Radio will be down, no internet, zero communication. The end, guys. Those who are left will be living in a nuclear wasteland until the Chinese finish them off. If you want to survive, here's my advice. Build a goddamn raft and start paddling, and fast, because we don't have much time. This is not a war between the military and the militias anymore. Forget about that. That is old news. This is now a fight for survival, like every great empire. And we once were, they crumble from the inside. And that is exactly what has happened to us. In 100 years' time, there will be no record of pre-war American culture, no footage, no memory, eradication. The Chinese are the next power. They will eradicate any memory of us. The songs we created, the icons, the great movies, the great industries gone from memory, like we never existed. And the Chinese are planning this attack under the guise of liberating the American people. And who knows? Maybe they are. If they don't wipe us all out,
Could life be better under a Chinese-run regime? Maybe the system would be fairer because it sure as hell is corrupt to high heaven in the States. Land of the free? I don't think so. But let's not forget, people, that this...
Listeners, like, there's no attack coming. This is all bullshit, complete bullshit. Has not been verified, I repeat, not been verified by anyone with any credibility. Whoever starts these dumbass rumors needs to be hung from a rafter with a big sign on them that reads, I am an absolute bullshitter. Seriously, honest to God, these people do not think we have enough problems, you know, with the, like, war, starvation, genocide that's happening without idiots like you spreading unsubstantiated rumors to freak people out even more than they already are. I'm telling you, we should wage a war on people like you. Call the bullshitters, a war on bullshit of all kinds. People, listen, we are not going to be attacked by China or invaded, whatever. The Chinese are doing their own thing. They will obviously be watching events here closely, just like everyone around the world is. But as far as attacking, no, that is not going to happen. So just do your thing. Let's try and get through this together and come out the other side better, a better America. You know, we've been like a pretty shitty country for a while now, not just economically and whatnot, but like in terms of, well, we've caused a lot of upset around the world with our invasions of other nations under false pretenses. You know, we're looking for weapons of mass destruction. Oh wait, they don't have any weapons of mass destruction. Who would have thought? Good, cool, look, they've got lots of oil. Then we have the audacity to call out other countries for doing the same thing. And we take the moral high ground, it's hypocrisy, and anyway, yeah, all these people who orchestrate this type of shit, they're just pieces of shit, but powerful pieces of shit. It don't matter if they're American, Russian, Chinese, Iranian, Israeli, Iraqi, they're all the same. Just gangsters who happen to run a country. Anyway, I'm not really sure where I was going with that. I'm so confused. When the war first started, I supported the militias. I was like, yeah, this government needs to be taken down. But then the militias split into so many different factions, and some of them were good and others, well, we know some of the atrocities they committed. So who can you support when the military is committing blatant war crimes in front of your eyes? And the militias, how can you have any faith in them when they don't even have faith in themselves? They can't agree on anything, it seems. They are fractured, they have no clear plan of or goals. It is so confusing, and at the same time I want this government gone. And so I kind of still support the militias to some extent, but I am losing hope.
So my hamster, Gump, I called him Gump because he would just run all day on his hamster wheel, like the hamster equivalent of Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump. Anyway, he was killed yesterday in an airstrike on my apartment building that was supposedly housing militants, and I was out at the time, and when I came back, the top half of the building had been hit, and my flat was on the 7th floor, so that was hit too, completely destroyed, and Gump was in there at the time. I found the cage all mangled in the wreckage, and bits of Gump, the fur, bones, blood all over it. He never stood a chance. And if I know Gump the way I think I do, or knew Gump the way I think I did, I should say, he would have been enjoying his morning run on the wheel, and then bang, splat, never saw it coming. And that's some comfort, I guess, that he never would have felt anything, but still, his life was cut brutally short now. He had a very peaceful temperament. If he were a human, Gump would have been campaigning for peace, probably running for peace, actually. A giant human hamster wheel. Yeah, but those bastards took him away, and I miss him. He was a good friend, a loyal friend. He only bit me once, but I was kind of asking for it. I was tickling his belly one day, and yeah, he bit me. Not enough to draw blood, but more of a warning bite, like, hey Richard, don't do that again. So rest in peace, Gump, and I'll miss you, buddy. That's the tragic thing about this war, or any war for that matter, that so many innocent lives are taken, be them man, woman, child, or hamster, and there is no way something good can come out of this. I can't see there being a clear winner in this war, only losers.
I'm so scared. This is the end, guys. The end of America. We're all going to be speaking Chinese in 50 years. Everything I had, I mean everything, is gone, including my husband. He joined the militia in the early days of the war, and I haven't seen him since, and we are expecting. I'm 18 weeks pregnant. I just keep questioning my own reality. I haven't spoken to my mom or dad in over 5 weeks. They were living in Phoenix, but they got out before shit really hit the fan. They were headed for Richmond, Virginia, where my uncle lived. The fighting there wasn't so intense like in other parts of the country. And they told me they would call when they got there. That was 5 weeks ago, and I've heard nothing. And I'm so worried for their safety. And I don't think I'm ever going to see them again, if I'm honest, and I don't think I'm going to see my husband either. He doesn't even know he's going to be a dad, and that breaks my heart. How am I going to do this alone? The hospitals are not operating. Who's going to help me deliver my baby? The stores are looted. There's no food, no baby formula, no diapers. There is nothing. No medication. I have a house for now, but there is nothing in it. I am living off dry pasta, have no help, and I am just so goddamn scared. What am I going to do? What kind of a world is my baby going to be born into? I mean, it was messed up before, but look at it now. This is quite literally hell on earth. And my baby will be born into this. I just can't come to terms with that idea. And I'm considering some very drastic ideas that completely go against my moral compass, my principles, my beliefs in the sacredness of life. And that scares me. That really, really scares me. That I am having the thoughts that I am having. Oh, but I will not do that. I will not give up on myself. And I will not give up on my baby. That will never, ever happen. I'm going to fight with every ounce of my being. The Lord is with me, and though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Goodbye, and God bless.
Honors, war, death, destruction has come upon us. Famine and pestilence will be next. Across the United States, Babylon has fallen. Vengeance has been brought on this immoral nation.
Yes to all traitors. No mercy. We will root them out and will exterminate them. Traitors of this nation must die.
Something much worse than this is coming. We will all burn in a blaze of Chinese dragon fire. 500,000 is nothing. Nothing. It will be 300 million, and the remaining nations of the world will go to war. We will already be gone. Armageddon, people. This is the end. The end. Pray, repent, forgive, repent, and pray. Your time has come. Ain't no more time to meet the Maker. The world is ending. Fire and brimstone. Famine.
Love this song. Just makes me think, like, yeah, whatever. Despite what's going on, just gonna keep smoking my doobie. And if I grew up listening to this song, then so be it. Whatever. At least I'll go out happy. To hell with running. I'm too lazy, and who knows? I probably will come out of this alive. No point worrying anyway. That's my philosophy. No one is gonna get out alive, regardless of what preparations you make. It's all
studying for my final exams when this started. Like, why the hell now? Seriously, I wanted to make something of my life. Like, my parents told me to, hey, Sarah, you can't go out tonight. You have to study. Hey, Sarah, ditch that guy you're dating. You need to focus on studying. Hey, Sarah, stop tick-tocking and start studying. Well, thank you very much, Mom and Dad, you assholes. Great advice, really great advice. All your apparent wisdom, Dad. Well, you didn't see this coming, did you? Hey, Sarah, why don't you try and be a neurosurgeon? You've got the brains for it. Yes, friggin' hilarious, Dad. Why don't you go run off with your horror that I know you've been seeing behind Mom's back? You've definitely got the balls for it. Yeah, you didn't think I knew. Well, now you know. I knew. Of course I knew. You use the same password for every account, you baldy dumbass. By the way, it's PollyDarton67. Yeah, I've known your password for 7 years. Great parenting, Dad. Bravo. Seriously, job well done. Maybe you should have concentrated on me and Mom instead of that whore who will never, never be half the woman that Mom is. Never. And where are you now? Fighting with some redneck militia with a Confederate flag stuck up your ass or whatever. Great, Dad. Really great. I hope you're proud of the misery you are continuing to cause. And leaving kids without a father, thinking you're some kind of hero. You're not. You're a piece.
If I don't see you guys again, I love you. You did everything you ever could for me, and I'm sorry I thought I would get to see you, but I didn't expect this whole thing to kick off so quickly, and now it looks really bleak out there, and I just want you to know I love you guys. Ted, you're my best friend. Mom, you're an angel. The patience you showed all through my life, the care, the love, the guidance, the support. Despite the fact I was a terrible teenager, rebellious, selfish, the drugs, all that, through all of that, you tried to help me, pull me through it, and you did, and I just miss you so much, and wish I could hear your voices again. And who knows, maybe I will, if not in this world, and maybe the next, God will, and everyone else out there who may be listening, I wish you all the best too. I hope you haven't suffered too greatly or suffered at all, if possible, throughout all this. I hope you're safe and your family is safe, and I hope we can all get through this and a peaceful solution is reached as soon as possible, so we're better than this destruction, killing, this overwhelming sadness and grief that we have brought on country. We can be better, not perfect, but better. May God have mercy on us all. May we know peace through Him. Amen. And if the Chinese do attack us in this vulnerable moment, like some are saying they will, well, that's just another example of the cruelty that man can inflict on his fellow man, and we are a fallen world that is incapable of saving itself, and that's why you'll something need to look to your Father in heaven and His Son to do that for you, because you cannot do it yourself. We're going to be hit soon. I can just feel it. It was no rumor. The missiles are already on their way. Brace yourself, folks. You're not seeing the news like others around the world are. They already know we're going to be hit. European news outlets are reporting on it. It's just a matter of time. Get ready, guys. Brace yourselves. Seriously. It's not going to be long now. Make your peace and say your goodbye.
Missiles inbound. Brace yourselves.
Bring it on, you Chinese mother...